Hi, my name is Melody Shelton, and I'm the District Specialist at San Rayburn for Social Studies. I'm going to walk you through our Schoology exemplar for Unit 1 for Government. Okay, first you're going to go into the Government folder, so the content folder here it says Government. You click on Government. The way that we have it set up is you're going to have Introduction to Geography, not Geography, the Government course. And what's going to basically happen in this week right here is y'all as a campus are going to plan the onboarding for week 1. So this is going to be all this stuff to get to know the kid, to set up online expectations, to give your course syllabus, anything that you have planned on your campus for the first week for onboarding. Content will not start until week 2. So under week 2, let's go back to here. Under week 2, I have this labeled as Unit 1. And under Unit 1, you notice how I have week 2 under here. So we're going to set it up by unit. When you click on the unit, it'll take you to week 2. So we have week 2, which is August 31st to September 4th. When you go up under, you will notice that we have a week 2 overview checklist. If you click on this checklist, it'll actually give the kids everything that they have to accomplish within this week. So for week 2, we're asking the kids to do a political idea storyboard, a types of government scenarios, a role of government economics writing comparison, and then it actually has the breakdown of each lesson within week 2's content. So basically the students can use this to make sure that they get through all the lessons that have been put into Schoology for that week. When you go back, we'll have the lessons broken up here. And as you notice, I have lesson 1, lesson 2, and lesson 3. I have the standards that the student expectations outside the folder. So within lesson 1, which is functions of government and origins of state, the students has these 2 standards that they're supposed to be showing mastery for. If you click on lesson 1, underneath lesson 1, you have an overview folder. This will tell you what the actual just that lesson's overview is. And then you have the learning, the practice, and the assessment. And this will happen in each lesson that they do. They'll have the same folders. If you click under the overview folder, the students will click under here. There'll actually be a video that walks them through the student expectation, the language objective, what parts are in the lesson, what the expectation is for the final products, and then I put a little quote at the end of each one. This is an actual recording of me, so this is kind of like the framing of the lesson that you would do in the classroom when you introduce it. And then down here for each lesson, there's going to be vocabulary terms. So here are all the vocabulary terms for just this lesson. And then down here, there's actually a practice Quizlet. I did this for each one of the lessons, so that way the students can practice just the vocabulary for this lesson. Then after the student does the overview, they'll come up here and they'll hit next. And next takes them to it takes them through each part of the folder, but then it'll take them to the next folder, which is learning. And under learning, this is where you're going to kind of give the quick start or the warm up for each day. And then there's going to be a direct instruction, some way that you're going to teach the kids the content for them to practice. So under here, for lesson 1, there is a quick start discussion board posting. When you do the quick start discussion board postings, make sure that you pose the question that you want the kids to respond to, but then that you ask them to reply to 2 classmates. So for this quick start, when the kids click on it, what do you feel the most important idea society should look for when forming a government? You're going to have them actually respond or reply to 2 kids' responses as well. After they do their quick start is when the direct instruction will happen. And so when the kid goes to the direct instruction, it tells you click on the Google site and learn about the 5 political ideas and complete the graphic organizer. Remember to write and complete sentences and use academic vocabulary. So here the kids would actually have the Google Doc graphic organizer that they would click on. And this is where they would take notes. And as they're doing it, they have this Google site, the Political Ideas Google site that they click on, and this gives them the information that they will complete in the graphic organizer. So the kids will use this Google site to answer this graphic organizer. Then, let's go back here. After they do the direct instruction, the kids will move on to the practice. So they have their notes. And so the next thing is going to be the practice. Underneath the practice folder, the students have a political idea storyboard. And so here the kids would click on the political idea storyboard. And then it has, you will choose one of the 5 political ideas and illustrate the meaning in a storyboard. You'll use all 6 storyboard panes to illustrate the meaning. So the students would click on this assignment, and basically they would use the directions are here, and they would use these 6 panes to illustrate one of the political ideas that they got from the Google Sites. And then they would write a summary of their storyboard down here. And then once they're done with that, they would submit this assignment. So you submissions, the kids use a little bit different, but they would submit this assignment. And then after they do the 6-pane storyboard, they'll go into the assessment. And the assessment is a discussion board posting. It says, explain why the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are such an important political idea in American history. And it tells the students that they need to respond to this and then reply to 2 students' responses. So make sure that when you set this up, that you have, here, let me show you, that you have it to where it is in line to where they cannot, let me go back here. Sorry. Make sure that when you do the discussion board postings, you go down here where it has options, and right here, the little person, make sure that it's marked where require members to post before revealing other people's responses, so that way you don't have students copying other kids' responses rather than coming up with their own thoughts. Then after lesson 1, the kids will move on to lesson 2, which is types of government systems. This lesson here is supposed to take the kids 2 days to do. So when you click on lesson 2, once again, you have the overview, the learning, the practice, and the assessment folder. Since this is a 2-day activity, what you can do is you can publish. If you click on this little icon here, you can publish the overview and the learning folder. So they do those on the first day. So as long as unpublished is done, these 2 will show up. And if you click unpublished, sorry, let's do this. If you click edit on the folder, right here, you can actually set up a date for this folder to appear. So if you're trying to do for ADA purposes and stuff, and you're trying to do it to where a kid starts an assignment on a certain day, you do have the option under the folder to make this folder publish on a certain date and end on a certain date. So remember that whenever you're starting to set up your days that you want kids to do things on certain days, you have that function. Under here, you have your overview where the kids will watch the video again, framing the lesson, and then you have your vocabulary down here with your practice vocabulary Quizlet. And remember, when you click next, it's going to take the kids through each step of the lesson. I know I'm clicking on the folders and taking you to the mass group of it, but if the kids do it, it's going to show them that. Under learning, this one is a Padlet Quick Start. You go under the Quick Start, and there's actually a Padlet for the kids to fill out here. If you've never played around with Padlet, all the kids have to do, there's a plus down here on the bottom that the kids click the plus, and then it gives them like a little sticky note, and the little sticky note sticks on here, and they can answer the Padlet. So here it says, what should your government do for its citizens? And that's just an opinion where the kids go in and they do it. Also under here, you had the station rotation activity. So if you click on this page here, or the kids click on this page here, they're going to go under here and it says, click on the Google site and learn about the 8 types of government systems and complete the graphic organizer. So here, the kids are going to learn about the 8 types of government that we have. So they'll, once again, use a graphic organizer, Google Doc, that they'll complete while they're doing the Google Sites government types. So they click on each one of these and it gives them the information that they complete the graphic organizer with. And it's loading here, taking a second, but it's loading. And so each one of the stations are in this Google site for them to complete their graphic organizer. And so once they finish the Google site and they complete their graphic organizer, they'll click next. And it'll take them to the practice. And here the practice is a types of government system scenario. It is a matching activity to where they are given a scenario and then they have to pick which government systems it's illustrating. And so this would be an assessment part here, and then they'll go, or sorry, the practice part, and then they'll see this here, they'll answer the questions. And then once they're done answering those questions in the practice, they'll go down to the assessment. and they have another exit ticket. And this is a multiple choice question test that they'll go through and they'll try to answer questions to determine which government type is being illustrated. Once they're done with that one, and they'll go into it and take it, they will go to their next lesson. So it's going to be lesson 3 right here, which is role of the government and economic systems. They'll click on that one and they'll go under, and once again, it's the overview, the learning, the practice, and the assessment. Under the overview, they have the video that is explaining the lesson components, and then they also have the practice lesson vocabulary and Quizlet. Under the learning here, they'll have a quick start, and then they'll have their direct instruction where they go in and they read here. They'll read about the role of government in the 3 economic systems. And then they'll take that and they'll go down to the practice. And in the practice here, they are looking at this economic systems web link and using the readings from the previous folders, learning folder. And then they'll play or practice in a quizzes activity. And it tells you here, once you make a 70 or better, you can begin the assessment writing piece. And they'll go through to the assessment, and it's the exit ticket is the role in government and economic systems. You'll write a 3-paragraph summary explaining the role of government in each economic system. And so here they're writing down what they've learned about those economic systems. Once you're done with, once they're done with week 2, then they're going to go in and we have week 3, which is down here. And then under week 3, we have 2 lessons, and then there's going to be a unit test. Once again, you get the week 3 overview that kind of walks the kids through what they're supposed to be completing. So here they're going to have the traditions, SAQs, the influential people discussion board, a unit 1 test, and a unit 1 test reflection. Lesson 1 is going to go over the traditions. It has the SE on the outside, just like the other folders. Lesson 1 traditions. You get your overview for this lesson with the vocabulary. The learning for this one is going to be a quick start, and then once again, you're going to have a graphic organizer and a stations document. So the kids will go through each one of these traditions and learn about them, and they'll complete the graphic organizer. And then after they do that, they're going to go on and practice. And here there's a practice where they answer 5 short answer questions using the notes from the learning. So here they're going to talk about each one or write about each one of the traditions that helped form the or helped influence the founding documents. And you see here the document. I don't know why they didn't open the first time, but here it is. So they're going to actually go in, how did Judeo-Christian law most influence the founding documents? And you have that for each one of them. And then once they're done with that, they're going to go down and they're going to do the assessment. And the assessment here is respond to a discussion board, our discussion post, and reply to 2 classmates' discussion post. And then when they're done with that, they are going to go and do lesson 2, which is influential people. Has the overview, the learning, the practice, and the assessment as well. The learning for the influential people is a graphic organizer with stations as well. And they're going to get the 4 influential people and learn about them. Then they're going to do a matching activity where they have to determine which influential person is being described. So you have the practice of a matching activity here. And then there's an assessment where you have to respond to a discussion board post and reply to 2 classmates. After that, this is going to be all of Unit 1. The students will take a Unit 1 test. This test will be in AWARE. I have the directions for the AWARE testing and how they log in to take the AWARE test. And then here is the student self-reflection. So after they get their data back, they're going to be able to go in and fill out a Google form to where they try to figure out which questions they got right and which questions they got wrong. And if they got it wrong, they have to put in the vocabulary that they struggled with and then find the correct answer and tell us why it's the correct answer. Real quick, I wanted to go through the conferencing tool for Schoology that we will possibly use this year. Here you can go in and you can create a new conference to where you can video conference with kids. You can schedule a certain start time and end time. We might be going to this conferencing tool to use for tutorials. So just know that this might be coming out, but we do have a conferencing tool in Schoology now. Thanks for your time, and I can't wait to see everybody in the school year start and us just blow it out the water. Bye.